You want this treat? Yeah, sit. Good girl. Say hi to the people. No? You're just gonna look at the tree? Yeah, there you go. You want one too, Tootie? Want this treat? Sit. Good girl. Don't snatch. Alright, come on. Don't, come here. Don't snatch. That was a snatch. Come try again. It's like I gotta go around. Okay. Don't snatch. Oh, good girl. Oh, so much drool. I don't know if this is good. Are those treats good? Are they so good? I don't think you're supposed to eat it that fast. Are you guys happy puppies? Yeah? You're so happy? I don't have any more treats for you. So there's no need for you to be sitting over here looking at me with your puppy eyes. Because I know that's all you're over here for. Is treats and belly rubs. Yeah. Yeah. Hi friends! Welcome to episode 57 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira. I can't talk to the friends? Sit. I don't want to pet you right now. Is that okay? Never okay. I know. This is Kiva. Kiva, you either sit or go away. Okay, so you're going to sit right there in the most awkward way possible. I know. Kiva is, if you're a new viewer, thanks for stopping by, but Kiva is a Jack Russell Terrier Beagle mix, and she's quite the old lady right now. Yes, you are. And this one in the back eating grass is Tootie, and she's like a Chihuahua mixed with something else, but the Chihuahua is strong within her, and she has been known to run up on dogs lots and lots and lots of times her size. And then she gets right up on the dog and realizes this is a bad idea and runs away screaming. Yep, I've witnessed it a couple times. But you are probably not here for chit chat about my dogs. So, my name is Kalisha. You can find me anywhere online as Nadira. I'm coming to you today from my backyard in Central Florida. And today is Thursday, October 4th. I think that's correct. This is a crafty podcast where I talk about all the things that I'm making and creating and getting into. Yeah. That was probably the worst intro that I have ever done. I blame it all on the pupsters. Right? Right, Kiva? It's all your fault. Okay, so today I have some finished objects. I have works in progress, some stash to talk about, a pattern that needs testing. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Kiva, are you going to be disruptive like this the whole time? Then go ahead, go on. Ow! Oh, her little tiny feet hurt. All right. So, before we get into finished objects, I guess I have a what am I wearing? This hat is this is the first Seaforth hat that I knit. I've knit 2 of these, but this is the first one I knit. This was like my first like big knitting project, like where I had to do like yarn overs and SSKs and knit 2 togethers and all of those things. And I was really intimidated when I first, cast it on and started working on the hat, but I persevered through it, and I'm really happy with it. It probably could do with like a little steaming, because this is, what is this? I think this is Red Heart Soft. I think so. Something from like Deep Stash. But it could probably do with the steaming, because as you can see, it's kind of like stiff back here. But I like it. I like the color. I like how this color looks on me, so I might have to make another hat in this color. Seaforth is a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you're interested in like a really easy because I'm going to put this down. This is our message for today. Be grateful for even the smallest wonders. And this is from this book. It's called Self-Meditation, 3,299 Mantras, Tips, Quotes, and Koans for Peace and Serenity. So it's another one of those like big books of stuff. So that's today's positive note. I'm going to go ahead and lay it down because it keeps scaring the puppies. Okay, I was saying, Seaforth is a free pattern on Ravelry. So if you are looking for like a really easy, like super beginner friendly, but still kind of fancy hat, like for gifts or for yourself or anything like that, because it's fall, definitely check this one out. 2 thumbs up, do recommend. So jumping from there right into my finished objects, I have one. It is a set of socks, pair of socks. Super excited about them. It is my L-Tannin sock pattern. So this is the second sock that I just finished last night. Ta-da, da-da-da-da. And there's its buddy. I am so proud of them. I have written up the pattern, and I even like extended the sizes. So this is 64 stitches on a size 1 2.25 millimeter needle. I sized it down to 56 stitches and up to 72 stitches. So that being said, I would like to put a call out for testers. Like, is that how we do it? Hooty hoo! Testers! I'm looking for like 1 to 2 people per size to test this pattern. So if you are interested in testing the L-Tannin sock pattern, you can either comment down below or send me a message on Ravelry or Instagram or something like that, and we'll get that set up. You don't have to know any particular like fancy skills for this. It is 2x2 rib. There's a texture pattern, which is a double moss stitch. So essentially just knits and purls. You have a knit through the back loop and then a short row wrap and turn heel. Yeah. And then the toe that I've written in the pattern is the rounded toe that I put on all of my socks. I know that a lot of people tend to have trouble with the short row heels not being deep enough for them. If you are one of my testers and the short row heel is not deep enough for you, you can either increase like a few stitches, I don't know, maybe like 4 to 6 stitches before the heel, and then work the heel as normal, and then decrease those stitches out after the heel to make it deeper. I would just really want the testers to actually knit the short row heel from the pattern, just so that I can make sure that the way that I've written it makes sense. But yeah, yay! This is my first sock pattern, guys. And I'm really proud of it. I'm like really, really, really proud of it. So that is that. Excited about it. It's done. There isn't anything else really to say about them. That's all of my finished objects. So for works in progress, I totally put my my favorite color socks, fall edition, on my show notes to talk about. Didn't bring them outside with me. I will insert a picture. So as you can see, they're vanilla sock. That's it. They are my current travel knitting. So like whenever I'm out and about and want some knitting, or I'm at home reading. Side note, I am on book 3 of Harry Potter. Very proud of myself. So I am actually right now catching up to little Kalisha when she first read Harry Potter. So I'm about to eclipse my former self in Harry Potter reading. There's that. So I work on those socks while I'm reading, stuck in traffic, what have you. The next work in progress that I wanted to show you guys is a test crochet that I'm doing for Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and I am testing her Bellatrix shawl. So the Bellatrix shawl is a design by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and it is a half circle shawl. Does this count as a pie shawl, Hannah? I don't know, but it is basically made of wedges, and you form the wedges with crocheted short rows. Now going into this, actually when she first started, when she first showed the shawl and she was working on it and she was talking about how it's a crocheted short rows, my mind was just like, pfft. Like I knew crocheted short rows were a thing, but I had never done them. I read like one little blurb in this book that I have that made it just sound like really, really confusing. So I never tried. And I commented on her video and I was just like, wow, that's really cool. I forget what else I said. Something along the lines, really cool. I'm so excited to see how it works up. So she messaged me back and she was like, you know, crochet short rows are super easy. Like this will be something really easy for you to do. So when she reached out for testers, she asked me to be one of her testers, and of course I said yes, because 1, Hannah's awesome. 2, I was super curious on how to actually execute a crochet short row, and it's so simple. And 3, when she finished her worsted weight Bellatrix, she does it in stripes. So when she finished the worsted weight Bellatrix and had it stretched out blocking, in my mind, the first thing that I saw was organizing the colors in such that they form a Kwanzaa Kinara. Well, not the Kinara, the candles. So if you don't know, Kwanzaa is an African American holiday that is celebrated the week after Christmas, well, the week between Christmas and New Year's. And it's all about principles for being your best self, essentially, and ways to uplift your community. So there's a set of candles, there's a candlestick holder, and then a set of candles similar to that of Hanukkah. And each night you light a different candle, which corresponds to a different principle, etc., etc. If you want more information about Kwanzaa, you can take a look at my Vlogmas from last year. The last 7 days of Vlogmas I talk about the different principles of Kwanzaa. Anyway, so when you set your candles up, you have the candle colors, they go from left to right, and you have 3 red on the left, 1 black in the center, and 3 green on the right. And those are the colors of the Pan-African flag, red, black, and green. I think that's all of like the background that you need to know from my plan for this project. So what I decided to do was crochet each wedge in a color corresponding to the candles. So I have gone through 2 wedges thus far, and I'm working red first. So I'm gonna have 3 total wedges of red, one wedge of black, and 3 wedges of green. I don't know why that was hard to say, but this is what I have so far. And which way is, okay. So, oh, and you can see the short rows really good in this light. So each wedge comes to a point like this, right? And the little blips that you see here are where the short rows connect. And when I was doing it, like, I read her instructions, and then I looked at her like photo tutorial, and then I just started working it, and it was literally that easy. Just like, oh, okay, so this is what I do. And I was just zoop. It's all worked in single crochet, so 1 wedge takes me an hour. Good thing I'm only doing 7. So now one thing, oh, let me show you the rest of my yarn. So this is red from Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn. So I wanted to keep the brand the same. The Wilderland bugs are loud again. That's a really piercing sound. I'm sorry if this is really annoying for you. Shh. Shh. So I wanted to keep they're so rude. I wanted to keep the brands the same. So I went and I picked up this green, which is called Jelly Bean. Whatever. But this green is Jelly Bean, and then I wanted the black to be sparkly, so I got the metallic black, and it's all Hobby Lobby. I Love This Yarn. So here we go. Get it together, hands. That is the way that it's going to look. So one of the I don't even know if I'm not even gonna call it a problem, but like one of the things that I had to think about, since I wanted to do essentially a solid block of color that was going to be separated into three segments, was how to separate them. And Hannah was very specific with to use 1 color per wedge for like yarn usage. So I couldn't like do all of the rows and then the last row in like a black to separate it, because that would be against her rules. So what I'm going to do instead is surface crochet. So as you can see, and you can see this line that's going right here, I'm going to take the black, and I'll do this at the very end, but I'm going to take the black and do a surface crocheted chain along that line so that it separates each one of the segments. And I think that's going to work perfectly. I'm really excited to, get going on this, a bit more. When is it due? October 22nd. So I have like, we'll say 15 days, because I want to have it done ahead of time. Yeah. So in that 15 days, I need to make the rest of these, which will be fine. I can do like 1 a day, and it's just like an hour out of my time to do 1 whole wedge. And one thing that I noticed, single crochets aggravate my elbow. And I thought that a few months ago, I made an amigurumi dinosaur, and I made it like super fast. Like that was all I worked on, and I was just crocheting, and it was very tight. So I thought that because it was single crocheted, really tight, very small, well, smaller hook than I normally use, and was all that I did. I thought that that's what irritated my elbow, but I realized that I could do things like my Gemini shawl, and I'm working on that for hours and it doesn't bother my elbow, and that's basically all double crochets. But as soon as I started working on this, where it's all single crochets, my elbow started hurting. So I might have to, well, not might, I'm definitely gonna have to be more careful with how I am like sitting and making sure my elbow stays supported while I work on this project. And I'm definitely not going to be able to do more than one wedge in a sitting. What's next? Is there anything else that I wanted to talk about with Bellatrix? I love the name, of course. Bellatrix is one of the stars in one of my favorite constellations. Bellatrix is one of the stars in Orion, if you didn't know. So if you're looking at the constellation Orion, you have the belt that kind of goes diagonally like this, and then you have the two stars that are above that in some pictures represent like Orion's head and his hand. Some of them represent like his sword and his hand. Like, this is upper body business in these two stars, and one of them is Betelgeuse and the other one is Bellatrix. So yeah, I'm gonna put these over here. There's an eyelash in my tea. It's a good thing I know whose eyelash it is. But look at my new mug. This is so true. I am a lot cooler on the internet. In real life, I'm not as cool. But I am drinking my much loved and hoarded white tea, blueberry, and elderflower tea. And I put probably too much sugar. Yeah, definitely too much sugar, because there's definitely sugar at the bottom of this cup. But when you put like a good amount of sugar in here, it tastes like cake. And this is the second cup that I've had from this same tea bag, which is just magical. Absolutely magical. And when I finish this cup, I'm gonna heat up some more water and try to get a third cup. Okay, let's talk about maker plans. So when I first wrote up my show notes, I was like, I don't have any maker plans. There's nothing that I want to be like getting ready to start, blah, blah, blah. Lies and deceit. Untruths. So as it is October, I totally forgot that I wanted to participate in the Socktober Sock Along that's being hosted by Claudia from the Crochet Luna podcast. And I'm pretty sure some other people are hosting as well. There's definitely a blog hop where like different people are writing about different subjects having to do with crocheted socks. So there's that. I'll see if I can find some information about that blog hop and put down in the description. So if you're interested in learning more about crochet socks, there you go. I remembered that I wanted to get in on that action. So what I'm going to be doing is crocheting a sock from this book. It is Step Into Crochet by Ron Strong. And let me show you the socks I want to make. Do 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 do. Oh wait, where are they? I'm gonna make the Oakwood socks. Why? Because I went to Oakwood University. That's it. Although I probably should start with like a basic sock. Just maybe. But I mean, it's not like too new, like fancy or whatever. It's like some crochet lace a little bit. And that'll be very Florida appropriate. I'm down. I think this is a great idea. So, how much yarn do I need for this? Oh, because they're short socks. I only need 100 grams. Well, that might change up what color I use. Because I had pulled these. Where are they? These, my collection of sorbetto yarn. This is Red Heart, Heart and Soul in the sorbetto colorway. 73% wool, 27% nylon. Is that it? Yeah. 73% wool, 27% nylon. Like I said, it's the sorbetto colorway. So I have 3 of these because one of them was left over from my stash. And then these 2 were given to me by Denine of the Knits In. Is it Knits In by Denine or Knits In? One of the 2. I'll link it down below. But she has a podcast and we did a swap and she gave me this great yarn. So now I have like 150 grams of this, which is enough to make yeah, it's enough to make any of these like regular socks. So what I might do, because I also don't want to still have leftovers of this yarn, like I want to use it all out. I think what I'm gonna do is make one of the plain socks out of this and then take another ball of some other yarn and make the Oakwood socks out of that. So just flipping through here, I think I want to do cuff down because that's how I knit my regular socks. Actually, I probably should do toe up so that I don't run out. Yep. Let's see. Let's find a toe up pattern in here. That's a short one. Belt line, cuff down. What's this? Belt line, toe up. Here we go. Belt line, toe up. And that looks like it will be really good with this like highly variegated yarn. So this is the belt line toe up sock. It is calling for my size, it will be 3 skeins of yarn, 3 skeins of 100 grams each. That is a lot of yarn. We're gonna see. So these socks will probably not be this tall, but I don't think I'm gonna need that much yarn. We'll see. But that's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be my Socktober Socktober crochet sock along socks. There we go. Uh-oh, runaway yarn. Put that over there. That's the only thing that I have for maker plans. This is my Just Feel Better shawl. It's keeping my legs covered from critters. Free pattern, link down below. What is next? Let's talk about some stash positions. So, in this last week, well, not even this last week, there's some stuff in here that I ordered a while ago that just got here within like the last week and a half or what have you. But I have some fun yarn. So first, oh, it's a roly-poly. Hey, little roly-poly, roll up. I don't know if any of you guys, this is going to be the episode full of distractions and interruptions. I don't know if any of you guys, like when you were little, used to pick up the roly-polies, or like, I don't know what their official name is, but they're like the little bugs. They have like all the little legs, and they have like kind of like a shell over them, and like if you pick them up, they roll up into a ball. I call them roly-polies. And there was a roly-poly just walking by me, and I was like poking him with my finger, and homie did not roll up. He was like, I ain't even scared of you. I ain't never scared. I'ma just keep on walking. You keep on walking, roly-poly. I don't know where you're going. Keep it, don't step on him. That's a gangster roly-poly right there. Respect. I ain't never scared. I'm sorry. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I had gone to Joann's for something and happened to look at their website, and I saw that they were having free shipping. So I was like, okay, well, let me see if there's anything on their website that I have wanted but was kind of put off by having to pay shipping on top of whatever the price of the item was. And I came across two types of yarn. The first one is this, the most weird color of yellowish green or greenish yellow. It's called Hot Lime, and it is Deborah Norville Serenity Sock. So they're 50-gram balls, 50% merino wool, 50% merino wool superwash, 25% rayon from bamboo, and 25% nylon. This is like my favorite, like, go to the store and buy it sock yarn. I really, excuse me, I really like it. So as you can see, this color is questionable. Initially it caught my eye because it looked like it was yellow. So I was like, it looks yellow, but it's called Hot Lime. Let me Google more pictures of this yarn to see what color it is. Google did not help. Some pictures it looked yellow. Some pictures it looks like chartreuse. Is that what color this is? But it's like ever so much not yellow. Just, it was like if you had on yellow pants and you got a grass stain and then blended that grass stain out over your whole yellow pants. Hot Lime. But I kind of like the color. It's, go away, love bugs. It's so weird. Okay. So here we have actual yellows. So you see how it falls between this yellow and the green? I like it because it's weird like that. So I have 2 balls of this. So 100 grams of that yarn will definitely end up being socks. I think I want to do like another textured pair of socks. Maybe something with cables. Who knows? And the other sock yarn that I got is this one. This is Patent Croy socks in the Sunburst Stripes colorway. So, as you can see, it is very rainbowy. It doesn't have any purple in it. That's the only thing. I kind of hate it when rainbow sock yarn doesn't have purple. That bothers me. But yeah, so it doesn't stripe. It doesn't do solid stripes. They're kind of like, I think it's the yellow and the green that's like really mixed up, and then like there's another section in it. I'll find a picture of the swatch and put it up here so you can see it. But it's not like a rainbow stripe that I was wanting, but I bought this before I got the rainbow yarn from String Theory, Colorworks. Now I have 3 different rainbow stripey types of yarn in my stash, and I'm super excited about it. So my feet are about to be super happy and super colorful. That's gonna be my feet. They also, Joann's being the they also put a whole bunch of yarn on clearance, and we're clearancing out, I think it was the charcoal and the navy color of the Serenity sock. So I bought some of that because I use that for heels, toes, and cuffs. Thumbs up, moving on. The next place that I picked up some yarn was Queen's Yarn Boutique. Now, I've talked about Roshelle shop before, and her color sense is really awesome. One of the things that she's doing for the fall, which I love so much, is in addition to like the variegated speckly kind of colors that she does, she has also introduced a whole lot of tonals. And like, as cool as I think like speckles and variegated yarns are, tonals have my heart. Like, I don't know what it is about a tonal yarn that just makes me go all heart eyes. Don't know. But she still has yarn in her shop from the summer that she's clearancing out. So I checked this morning, and she still has BFL sock and BFL DK, MCN sock. I think there were some other bases that she has left over from summer in different colorways, and they are on like stupid sale. Like, I think the price even went down from when I bought this a couple weeks ago. So like the BFL sock that is that she's clearancing out from the summer is down to $12 for hand-dyed yarn. Shut the front door. The MCN like sock is down to $13. Where they do that at? So go over there, take a look, show her some love. Also look at her tonals that she has going for the fall. She has this green that's called Emerald Isle that when I was scrolling through her site, I just had to stop and look at it like, it was like the perfect Kalisha green. I loved it. And then on the other end, she has like the speckles, and she has this one speckle called Sweet Caroline. I wrote these down because I definitely wanted to share them with you. But it was like a white base with like different shades of blue speckled in. There may have also been some purple speckled in there, but it was just like, I can see that colorway being worked up into like, I don't know, a really nice like winter shawl with those like blues and whites, or like a pair of cozy socks. I'm just over here daydreaming on yarn that I do not own. So let me show you what I did get from her. I got this baby. This is Hot Fries, and it is on her MCN base. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. 435 yards, 100 grams. And I have been looking at this colorway for a while, but I couldn't decide if I really, like, if I wanted it, what the color was. And then when she put it on sale, I was like, okay, this is a sign from the crafting powers that be. So I messaged her because in the pictures, and this is another color that's like this. That's like, when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's red. But then if you look at it in context to another red, this one, for instance, is a little bit orange. So in the pictures that she had on her site, it looked more orange than red. And I didn't want the orange. I didn't want it to be like orange. And then with it being called Hot Fries, I was thinking like hot Cheetos, which are kind of like more orange than red. So I messaged her and I was like, which way is it leaning? So when she told me it was leaning more towards red, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this trigger. And I really like the color. And again, it is beautifully tonal. Like, let's see. You can see how it's a lot lighter in here and then it gets darker. Just lovely. It's not a solid by any stretch. Ooh. Hello, even darker spots over here, like right there. I don't know what I want to do with this. Part of me wants to pair it with my Hela of Asgard, but Hela is it's green with like dark shades of green and maybe down to blacks like modeled in there. And I kind of wanted to pair them together and just be like Christmas all day, every day, no problem. But then I was like, Kalisha, if you make something that's like that Christmassy, then you can't really wear it all year round. I know you would, but you probably should not. So I'm not going to mix those two together. So yeah, I've just added another single skein. So there's that. But I love it. I think I'm creating in myself a monster who loves MCN. Like, I haven't even made anything with the MCN that's in my stash. Like, I have just like squished it, just like this, just, and looked at it lovingly. Like, but I'm going to make something with this. It's not going to just sit waiting for the perfect thing. It's going to get used. I think that's everything that I wanted to say. Love bugs. That's everything that I wanted to say about Queen's Yarn Boutique. So we'll move right along to my last little bit of stash positions. And those are just a couple things that I picked up at the Fall Fiber Festival that was put on at my local library, which I will talk about more in detail later. Fear not. So my goodies are all tucked away in this super cute little bag. And right on the top, I have this keychain, which I would love to put it on my keys, but I'm scared that it'll get messed up. I bought this cute little girl. Look at her and her head wrap. Yes, head wrap. Yes, fancy. Yes, cowrie shells. Oh, wait. Can she be my head? No? Oh, look at it. It's like a new version of the tiny head game, or the tiny head dance I did last week. My arms aren't long enough. I did it. So yeah, she needs a name. I need to name this little girl and also find out where I'm going to display her. She might end up like hanging from like my, what is that thing? Rear view mirror in my car. Because I have a collection of things that make me happy in there. So she might be added to that collection, but I love it. This is from the seller A Gullah Girl, and I will link her down below as well. But she makes these super cute crochet keychains. They don't all have like head wraps or anything like this. She had one there that had like two little afro puffs and like a cowboy hat. She also makes dolls, like the full body doll. She had some loveys. She had this one lovey that was Princess Tiana, and I wanted to buy it so badly. Like, but I have no use for a lovey. Like, there's no little children running around in this house that need a lovey. But I loved it so much. It was adorable. So this is what I got from her. I love it. She's adorable. I need to learn how to wrap my hair like this in real life so I can be as fancy as my keychain. And then the other thing that I picked up is yarn. It's a set of minis. Well, they're not really a set. I mean, they go together now. But these minis are from, hold on. These minis are from String Theory again, String Theory Colorworks. And I when I was looking at her booth, her minis are 20 to 25 grams. Some of them are less depending on the base. But I was looking at it and I was like, okay, so my heels, toes, and cuffs take essentially 25 grams to do heels, toes, and cuffs on a pair of socks. And then I can do the body of the sock out of a 50-gram ball. And I still have leftover from that 50 grams. It takes about like maybe 20-ish grams for me to get like a pair of socks with a sensible length, right? So I was thinking I can just get 3 minis and I have a pair of socks. So this one that I've been waving around is her Photon base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. So you can see the sparkle in that one, and it's just black. And then I have these two, and this one is Continuum, which is 80-10-10, superwash merino, cashmere, nylon, and this color is Sacramento. So I got 2 of those. Oh, and it's not coming up right. This, how can I trick you to get this color right? That's closer to it, but just darker. So it's like navy blue teal. Yeah, like a navy blue tealy color. So I think the color that you're seeing in the screen right there is more so the navy blue. So just imagine like a little bit more teal on top of that. Now this little one is naked because this was the only mini that she had in her mini containers. So she, being Caitlin was so awesome that she just snatched this mini out of one of her other sock kits and gave it to me so that I can make my mini socks. So what I have imagined is creating some sort of space themed sock with these, because like, doesn't that say like nighttime space to you? Yeah. And you wanna know a funny thing? I laid out all of my like solids, like mini skeins, like, you know, like yarn that would go into like this category. I laid it all out in rainbow order so that I could see where the holes in my collection are. And I decided I need more pinks. I went in there with the plan of buying pink yarn from String Theory. This is not pink, but this is what called to me. So, I mean, you got to go with what calls you, right? So I'm super excited about these. I'm gonna like start playing around with the ideas, and I think it would be really cool like if I could come up with some sort of like space-based design that uses 3 of her minis. And when I tell you, like, she's such a sweetheart, I can't even tell you. She's so sweet. I'm really glad that I went. So yeah, I said I'll talk about that later. But that's everything that I have for Stash Positions. The next section that I want to talk about is actually returning from a hiatus. We have black fibers, black threads again, y'all. Woo! So this black fibers, black threads kind of comes with a little bit of a story. This all happened yesterday. So essentially, I was planning on filming this podcast yesterday. And I said, okay, Kalisha, you're going to go out, you're going to run these couple errands, come back, film your podcast, good to go. I didn't have anything for black fibers, black threads. So I was like, it's okay, you know, we'll talk about something else. It's fine. So I went to Hobby Lobby. Oh, sorry, I'm sitting cross-legged and my hips are going numb. I'm an old lady. I'm sorry, did I disturb you? So I went to Hobby Lobby to pick up the yarn for the green yarn and the black yarn for Bellatrix. And while I was there, I ran into an old college mate. And her name is Shari. And as we were like chatting, back and forth, like, what's going on in your life? What are you doing now? Like all the things that you chat about with somebody that you haven't seen in like 10 years, right? So come to find out, she's also a knitter and crocheter, and she has an Etsy shop. So she was telling me like, yeah, I have an Etsy shop. I do, these knitted projects, crocheted projects, homewares, accessories, blankets, you name it. This girl probably has it on her Etsy. And then she also has a second Etsy shop that is like sewn items and how would you describe it? Like body things? So in that second shop, she sells all natural lip balms, body butters, oils, like healthy things for your skin. And then she also does like some sewing and stuff on there. So the reason that I wanted to highlight her for Black Fibers, Black Threads today is just in the conversation that I had with her. It was a long conversation. Like, guys, we were in Hobby Lobby just standing in the yarn aisle for 3 hours. Not even exaggerating. Just talking about life experiences. We talked about things from relationships with God, mental health, work, creativity, like all kinds of things. And the conversation was just flowing, so we just let it. But one of the things that I really appreciated about her when we were talking was that she wasn't shy about saying like, this is something that I do. She had her products on her. She had her cards, which I need to be more on that. I'm horrible when it comes to carrying my cards and stuff. But it was just such a blessing for me to be able to speak with her and to just be encouraged by her to keep putting what I'm doing out there, And I wanted to share her Etsy's with you all, because sometimes crafters don't want to make stuff. So like if you're looking for handmade gifts for the holidays, or you have birthdays or something coming up, definitely go check out her sites. I will link them down below. In her Etsy shop where she has her body butters and things, I thought that was a thing that's very translatable as a yarn crafter, right? Because we work with so much yarn that tends to dry out our hands. She was actually in there to buy cotton to make washcloths for an order that she had gotten. And we all know, like, when you're using cotton, it tends to dry out your hands, and you want to keep like a lotion or a balm or something like that nearby to keep your hands moisturized. And she makes those. And she like let me see some of the ones that she had with her. She has a bunch of different scents. So I'm definitely going to be checking out her Etsy shop more in the future. But I just think about things like, or I think about that conversation and how many things had to fall into place for that conversation to happen, because I was on my way to a different store. Actually, I wasn't going to stop at Hobby Lobby first, and then I made the choice to go there at the very last minute and had to cross over 4 lanes of traffic to turn into the parking lot. Did it all safely. But just like looking at that, and then us walking into the store at the same time and her recognizing me. I don't look at people for real when I'm like out in public, so I would have just kept right on walking if she hadn't called my name. And just being able to reconnect with someone from your past, who is kind of doing the same things that you want to do, like putting their energy into these creative endeavors, trying to make their creativity work for them. in the same way that I want my creativity to work for me. It was really nice to talk to her, and to know that like she understood some of the frustrations that go along with trying to make your creativity work for you. It was just a pleasure, you know. So if you're in the market for some body butters, body balms, things like that, I would definitely say check her out. I was looking at her Etsy shop earlier today, and she actually messaged me and told me that she has updated her site with her body butters and balms, and she has free shipping on them. So jump on that. And then in her knitting and crochet shop, a lot of her items are on sale right now. So you can definitely go see that, get yourself a good sale, because everybody loves a sale. And, you know, just check out a fellow crafter. Another thing that she was telling me was she doesn't get a lot of traffic on her shops. And one of the things that I love doing on here, like on this platform, is exposing other people, like other small businesses, other small makers. You know, there's space out here for everybody, you know. So go check her out. I can't express enough how pleasant it was to have that surprise conversation, you know. Provided I didn't get to film the podcast yesterday like I wanted to, but I think it was all for the better, you know. One of the takeaways that I had from that conversation was how God will take care of you. And I know that some of you all aren't religious people, but it still, I guess, goes to be said that God or the universe or the powers that be will take care of you. You know, if you are put in a position to have a particular opportunity, then if that opportunity is for you, then it will be for you. And that's something that I needed to be reminded of, because there have been quite a few occurrences at work that made me just feel like, you know, you're getting overlooked for things, or nobody cares about the work that you put in, or the all the things that you do, right? But if it is for you to have that promotion, or if it is for you to have that position or to do that thing, then it will work out if that is for you. So that was definitely something that I needed to be reminded of. Also, to be reminded of God's care. So that was a big takeaway for me from our conversation. So I'm so grateful that we were able to spend that 3 hours of our lives in Hobby Lobby. By the way, Hobby Lobby is cold. Y'all, we were in there, because we were in there for 3 hours, by the time we left, our teeth were chattering, like actually chattering, and we couldn't feel our fingertips. It was that cold in the store. Now, if you go in the store as a regular shopper, you never notice how cold it is, because you're gone before your body is like, what the actual heck? We, on the other hand, nearly froze. Thanks, Florida, and your air conditioning. So, I know that was a whole lot of talking just now, and I feel like this episode is about to be a really long one, because I have life and whatnot. So I don't think there's anything else yarny. There's nothing else crafty that I want to share with you, except for, well, I guess this counts as crafty. So, Kiva, can you get off my lap, please? Yes, that was a no. So I have been putting an extraordinary amount of pressure on myself to finish all of these bags for the Quirky Monday Crafts Etsy shop update. what I have decided after having the floor drop out of my mood one day behind all the pressure that I'm putting on myself behind these bags, I have decided to put the bags up as I finish them, and just everything will be fine. You don't have to, have 40 bags all update at the same time. Just get them in the shop. That's all you need to do. Just get them in the shop. That being said, I have some to show you that, fingers crossed, will be in the shop when you are viewing this video. So this size is now my small size. If you have been a follower of the podcast and my Etsy shop for any length of time, you would know that this used to be medium. I have shifted everything down so that now there is a large size, and then the small notions pouches I used to make, I'm no longer making those. So this is my small bag now. It is, I would say, a sock project. I can fit two sock projects in here, so 2 balls of yarn, 2 socks and their needles in here, with my little tin with my notions and stuff in there comfortably. So yeah, and these are all going to be fall themed bags for the first round going in. Each bag has a detachable handle, so if you want to walk and knit or crochet, you can do that. If you want to take this off and use it as a keychain, you can do that. Do whatever makes you happy on the inside. So here is this baby. We've got this one. I love this pattern so much. It is going to be super hard for me to put this in the shop. This one may not make it to the shop, y'all. Don't judge me. We've got pumpkins galore. Some plaid pumpkins. And then this one is the same pattern with 2 different color bottoms. So pick your poison. So yeah, these are all ready to go up in the shop. The only thing that they need now, the only thing that they are missing, is their Made with Love charm and their progress keepers, because I've decided to add progress keepers to my bags, because why not? Sorry for the scratching of my eye. But these are ready to go up in the shop. I am going to next do the medium size bags, which I would say are like a shawl size. Shawl size, sweater size if all you're carrying is the ball that you're working with. I'm going to do those fall ones and then get those in the shop when they're ready. And then I'll do the large fall bags. Now the large ones are, I'd imagine, like if you have a larger project like a sweater and you want to store it with all of the yarn, you can put it in one of these large bags. They're not going to come with handles because they're too big to be walking around with. I envision them as the bag that stays next to your comfy chair with your stay-at-home project in it, and like when you get home and you sit in your chair and you have your tea or your coffee or whatever you're sipping on, and then you just like unzip the bag, roll the top down, and then you just have your big yarn bowl with all of your yarn and your project ready to go. That's the image in my head with the large bags. So these will be in the shop. There is a link to my shop. There's always a link to my shop in the description bar down below, but that is there. I'm going to be sharing pictures of the different sizes and the different bags as they're completed on my Instagram. But definitely follow me on Instagram at Nadiratani to be kept in the loop as to what bags are going into the shop when. And as they get finished, they'll go into the shop and everything will be fine. So that's everything crafty. this past week, the last episode that I put up, I was talking about how my mood had swung back up, and I was so excited about it. I was so happy, you know, that the mood swung back up, and I was just going to like squeeze the goodness out of that mood. I'm so glad that that was my mind state, because I really did appreciate the days that I had, you know, the up energy, because literally it only lasted a couple days and then I swung back down. But it's okay. Everything's fine. Everything swings. But one of the days that I was feeling particularly down, Jasmin, the violinist that I featured at the end of the last video of my previous video, she sent me a message and invited me to an open mic. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to make it, you know, I'll see what I can do, blah blah blah. And I had full intention to go. I had been to the venue before, so it wasn't like a brand new place. So I felt like this is something that I can do. I reached out to a couple of my friends. Neither one of them could go. So I was like, all right, I can go by myself. It's fine. I know this place. I know the area. It's fine. And then the bottom fell out. And I say that because literally the day was like, it was a good day. It wasn't like super high, happy day, but it was good. I was good. I was doing things. I was working on the sewing. And then suddenly that negative voice in the back of my mind just got really loud. And it was telling me all kinds of things that I know aren't true. Like, nobody cares about what you're doing. Nobody likes the things that you're sewing. Your bags are terrible. You know, like, everybody hates Quirky Monday. Everybody hates Kalisha. And I laugh because even as I was hearing those negative thoughts in my mind, I was telling myself, like, okay, you know these things aren't true. You know that people like what you put out. People like, you know, watching your videos. People like interacting with you. Like, this voice is lying to you. Like, rational Kalisha is like on my shoulder, like, bruh, you're fine. That voice is a liar. And liar voice over here just kept like spewing this foolishness into my ear. And even though I knew consciously that these things were not true, it still caused my mood to just fall. And when I tell you, I went from being good and motivated and productive in the day to all I wanted to do was curl up in the bed and go back to sleep. And I know that curling up in the bed is just going to exacerbate the problem. Like, it's just going to allow that liar voice to get louder and louder because you've basically let it win. And I tried so hard to stay, you know, moving, to stay out of bed and everything like that. But I did go get back in the bed. And I was laying there and I was like, you know what, Kalisha, you might as well just stay in the bed, send Jasmin a message and be like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm the worst. I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm such a flake, blah, blah, blah. And I actually put up like a picture talking about it on Instagram. And I think I had it up for like a couple minutes and then I deleted it. And I thought, you know what? You need to get up. You need to move. So what you're going to do, we're not making any promises about going to a poetry reading or an open mic. We're not making any promises of getting out the house. What we are going to do is get out of this bed. You're going to take a shower. You're going to put some nice clothes on, and then we'll see what happens from there. But you are not going to just wallow in this bed. So I threw myself on the floor, got in the shower, and while I was sitting in there, I started thinking, like, you know what, Kalisha? you'll feel better if you go out. You'll feel better if you get around other people. Because one thing that I've noticed that does kind of, it creates an environment that allows downswings to fester is when I'm alone. So I knew, like, I felt like, okay, if you get out and you get into, like, out with people, it will give you that change of environment that's enough to shock you out of whatever it is that you're feeling right now. So I got dressed. It took me an hour to pull myself together enough to get out of the house and get in the car. And then I sat in the driveway for I don't know how long. And then I said, Kalisha, just drive. If you get over there and you're still like, can't do it, you just keep driving and drive on home. No harm, no foul. So I was able to get all the way there, and y'all, I cried all the way there. And when I got there, I walked up. The whole venue is outside, so I'm going to put some video of it at the end. But the whole venue for the open mic is outdoor. So I'm walking up, I'm seeing all of these people, this big like crowd of people, and my chest started getting tight. I was thinking like, you know what, Kalisha, you should just get back in the car. And I pushed through it. And I went and I sat like with my back on like the wall that was at the back of everything. So I'm sitting on the ground at the back just listening, and I was so proud of myself for getting out the house. And sometimes it's just like my sign said. Let me grab it for you. Be grateful for even the smallest wonder. Now, I know this is probably talking about things like butterflies and rainbows, but in my case, I am so grateful that I was able to get out of the house, that I was able to get in the car and drive to this place, despite my tears, despite, the anxieties that I was feeling, or the frustration that I was feeling, or the swings that my mood was just taking me through. Good Lord. I am thankful and I am grateful that I can do these things, that the downswings are not strong enough where they flatten me, and that my will is strong enough that I'm able to, even when I find myself just crumpled in the bed, I'm able to still throw myself on the floor and drag myself into the shower. And I'm so glad that I went. I saw one of my old friends I haven't seen since I lived in Huntsville. So it was wonderful to run into her, and I did see Jasmin there, and it was really nice to see other people, and I'm just so proud of myself for doing that. So before this episode gets too long, I'm going to just like the rest of like my highlights from the week are going to be like pictures and some video at the end. I mentioned earlier that I went to the Fall Fiber Festival that was held at my library, and it was great. I walked in, I got there super late. Well, not super late. It was a 2 to 3, 3 to 4. It was a 2-hour thing. I got there like in the middle. And I was supposed to meet up with Jen of Yarn Tripping. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, is she even gonna be there? Like, so I walk in and I was like, okay, I'm gonna vlog this thing. So I start vlogging when I'm coming up the steps, and then I walked in, and it wasn't even that big of a place, but I immediately like got deer in headlights, blinders on, can't see anything, and I'm probably sure that I looked mildly terrified. But while I was standing there kind of like looking around like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I start? Blah. She came up and she goes, hey, I'm Jen. And it was so nice. Like, she wasn't really like, you know, like overwhelming with the energy or anything like that. So it was a nice like transition into this is everything. And since I got there so late, she had already like made her rounds on everything. So she was like walking me through and telling me, oh, this is what's over here, this is this, this is that. And it was nice to kind of have like somebody who already knew where everything was there with me. Lamar also came with me to the Fiber Festival, which was really cool. He was actually the one who found a Gullah Girls booth, and he came over to me and he was like, oh my gosh, there's a lady over there who is selling crochet dolls that you have to see, they're really good. So I was like, let's go support Black business. So what else? We talked to some of the yarn dyers. I wove on a loom. Lamar got some video of me, so that will definitely be at the end. What else did I do? I don't know. It was just fun to walk around and to see the things that other people are creating and to meet a new friend and just, I don't know. It's an interesting space to be in when internet life crosses and intersects with physical life, you know? And it makes everything more real. Like, I know I'm probably never gonna meet all of you guys. Not even probably. I'm never gonna meet all of you guys. But knowing that there's a possibility to cross paths with you guys is really awesome. And I really like that. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Amongst the pictures at the end of the Fiber Festival, the open mic, there's also going to be pictures of the Suicide Prevention and Awareness yarn bombing. We didn't get to do the whole like shebang that I wanted to do originally, but I think the way that it came together was for the best. So what I ended up doing was making a few awareness ribbons with the tags and the encouraging words on them, and I just carried them around like with me, and I would just hang them up around town. So I'll put some pictures of that so that you guys can see how that went. So thanks so much for hanging in there with me, guys. I know this was a long one. Right now in my recording, it says an hour and a half. I'm going to try my best to cut out 30 minutes of that. But I really appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of my universe. Leave comments down below of something positive that's happened to you, so that we can all bask in the glow of that positivity, because it is so needed. Leave an encouraging word for someone else. Thumbs up. I love you. Have a great week. Peace.
So one day we would not need nothing. Listen, we all know what hurts to keep running. That's why I can live my life as if it means nothing. My ancestors risked their life so they could be something. That's why I said block her pressure. That felt like a setup. I knew better. I got one life, I could not regret her. Hopped out prematurely. Guess the universe know when it's time. Listen, sometimes you gotta skip the line. I came well equipped. If it ain't sunny, you know I got the shine. At time life get crazy. All you gotta do is see the light. Yes. Seeking you shall find. Hey, what is the meaning of your life? Oh, won't take for granted I could breathe. Hey, I'm trying to be a better me. I'm trying to be a better me. Look, I'm trying to be a better. Hey, be a better me. That's it. I'm trying to be a better.
I know, right?
Be a better me. I'm trying to be a better. Get it.
I think that's it. So, wasn't this not diverse? Till next Tuesday, peace, love, and poetry. Good night.